looking to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to Asean in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles. We're coming to you live from Manila and Thailand. Hello, Esther. Welcome to the program as well.
Hi, Alma, and to all our viewers. I'm Esther Odanga from EBC Thailand Bureau, bringing you the news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines, we are glad to have on the program Ms. Shirley Lazaro, the advisor and mentor of the ASEAN Youth Organization. And later we'll talk to her about the organization and her role in the said organization.
The Prime Minister of Thailand said that the country will let the vaccinated visitors from 46 countries forgo COVID-19 quarantine from next month. Our EBC correspondent Jomrel Baldo will give us an update.
And the Author Research Group said Thursday the number of COVID cases in the country is expected to drop to the level before the recent surge in infections driven by the Delta variant by the end of this month.
And the Israeli government is looking forward to hosting a group of Filipino experts to share firsthand its strategies and technologies in effectively dealing with the spread of the coronavirus disease 2019.
And first in our program, we are glad and honored to have with us Ms. Shirley Lazaro, the advisor and mentor of the ASEAN Youth Organization. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you, Alma. Thank you, everyone, for having me here.
We're happy that you are here. Ms. Shirley, please, you are the advisor and mentor of the ASEAN Youth Organization. Please tell us about the ASEAN Youth Organization first.
Okay, so ASEAN Youth Organization, this was established in August 2013 in Jakarta, Indonesia. So we just celebrated actually our 10th year. This was actually inspired by, I'm sure you remember back in 2011, there's been a lot of dialogues and social media forums and pages on this ASEAN community. We want to make the young people of ASEAN ready for this ASEAN community, which in the process actually strengthens the bonds of friendship and understanding among youth, not just in the ASEAN member nations, but from all over the world. So 5 years ago, we also put up the ASEAN Youth Organization Social Enterprise in Singapore. And now we have over 200 team members working with us and 16 chapters and networks across the globe. So we're not only present in the ASEAN countries like Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, but now we have partners also and team members from Australia, China, Germany, India, Japan, South Korea, United Kingdom, and even in the United States.
So partner nations, no?
Yes.
With other yeah. And your role as advisor and mentor of this organization, tell us what you do here.
Okay, when they asked me to be part of this ASEAN Youth Organization as advisor and mentor, it's a tall order actually. They want me to help the organization promote positive, sustainable change. And I like that. I actually intend to do it through social volunteerism, youth empowerment, and economic enhancement. We came up with this hashtag, Impact Lives. And our very ambitious goal is by year 2025, we will be able to impact the lives of 10 million youth. So slowly but surely, hopefully we're going to get there. But right now, we just want really to serve as an avenue and platform for young people to have this free exchange of information and ideas within and outside ASEAN. And currently, we're doing a lot of promotions for everyone's awareness and to get their interest towards establishment of this ASEAN community. And important for us, the three pillars talaga of ASEAN, which is the political security, and of course we have the economic and social cultural issues that we want our young people to be conversant about.
Mhm. I'm sure with these, if you want to impact the lives of youth with our ASEAN partners and ASEAN countries,
Yes.
I'm sure with these projects that you have, how are you? What projects do you have for in the ASEAN Youth Organization?
Okay, so in a nutshell, we actually are trying to empower the youth by organizing and conducting projects that would improve their knowledge, their skills, attitude, behavior, and we want to instill with them innovative ideas that would result in positive change in their own perspectives. But currently, specifically, we have so many projects, tie-ups with other social civic groups, not just here in the Philippines, but in other countries as well. And most of these organizations I am also actively involved with. We partner with Rotary International, where I was past president also. So we're able to link the group to the different Rotary clubs here and abroad. And in Rotary, we have very amazing youth programs through our Interact and Rotaract projects. We also partner with Zonta International, which I am currently a director of one of the clubs here in the Philippines. We also have tie-ups with the Society for Cultural Enrichment, Club Bulakenyo, where I served as president for 2 years. We have so many great projects also for young people in the whole of Bulacan. We partnered with Philippine Cancer Society, the Breasters Women of the Philippines. So these are just some of the groups that I'm also a part of that have been supporting the ASEAN youth in some ways, whether big or small. And I'm very, very thankful for all these friends that we have here. We also host a lot of webinars, trainings, and workshops about youth empowerment. So almost daily we have online event. But you know, Alma, what I'm really excited about right now is a new project. We actually haven't launched this yet, so we're gonna have the first dibs. We call it Rocket Start. We're gonna be launching it later this month, I guess. So it's a very Rocket Start. It's a very unique entrepreneurship program for anyone interested in early stage startups. So it's like a competition. We help you form a team with like-minded individuals, and then we help you build your creative confidence, and so that you will be able to develop your own unique product. Is it okay if I discuss more about this Rocket Start? Because it's really a very, very interesting project. Okay, so you start by forming your own team. You might be someone with an idea looking for talent, or you might be that talent looking for an idea to pursue, or maybe you already have a small group or a small team and you are looking for that missing link. So that's where we come in. So everybody's welcome. We host Rocket House weekends where we bring in the full cohort, and together we will help you facilitate all these team building processes. Okay, so once we're able to help you form a team, everything comes for free. You just have to sign in. Later I'm going to give you details on how you can be part of this project. So after we're able to give you a team, next is idea validation. So we start the process of validation. We help you work alongside. We bring in subject matter experts, and through direct contact with our leadership teams as well, you can begin to learn to assess your own idea. We're going to be teaching you how to make sure that your idea is actually tackling a real world problem, and we verify that there is actually a demand for you to be able to create a scalable business afterwards through this idea of yours. And then after, of course, we help you build a solution. So once your idea has been validated with the help of the experts, it's time to start building a solution that will address the problem that you're trying to solve. So again, we utilize the help of the experts, and we give you course materials for free, and we will take you through the process of turning your idea into a great solution. So we will show you how to prototype, how to test, and how to understand what makes your business proposition unique and valuable. So after, we will help you pitch your startup during the final demo evening event. So it's actually like I said, it's we're making it like a competition. So at the end of the Rocket Start program, if your team is chosen, if your team is one of the teams to win, you will be invited to join the second phase of this program, and we call it Rocket Start Plus. So this one, it is mentor led. So we will help you tailor suit your startup needs, and this will be facilitated by some of the best minds in your chosen industry. So the goal is to craft achievable milestones to push your startup's potential to its upper limits. And who knows, we might even help you find angel investors for this startup business you have in mind. So as I've said, it's totally for free. This is an online program. We're going to be using Zoom and other workshop apps also. However, even if it's for free, significant amount of time is actually required for this. So you really, really have to commit it. So it's like enrolling in an MBA program for free. So there. I don't know if you're gonna get mad at me because we haven't launched it yet, but I'm so excited to share this with you.
That's share that with us. I think we gotta, we got an insight on what is happening, what's going on there. But are you open for volunteers? How do you get your members?
Well, okay, so we are in need of volunteers. So again, as I mentioned, the 200 people who are working with us are part-time members of the organizations, but now we have over 200,000 volunteers all over the world. So you have to be 17 to 40 years old to be part of the organization, and I can actually you log on to Asean youthorganization.net, and it has a link where you can register and be part of your team. So we have different departments. Like, it depends on what you can contribute to the team. No, you can be one of the ambassadors for example, skills development programs, or if you're very good with IT, then maybe you can help us with all our digital projects and everything. So we have so many options for young people.
That's good. Aside from the ASEAN Youth Organization, you are also actively involved in the fight against human trafficking, modern-day slavery. Can you tell us about this? Is interesting. Tell us more.
Actually, it's one of the first advocacies that I got into. I was very young then when I actually met this amazing lady. She's like a Mother Teresa here in the Philippines. But anyway, I met her and I discovered about this thing that she's been doing for so many decades now. So it's actually the organization, we target to abolish human trafficking and modern day slavery. So what we do, we rescue. Of course, we have intel. We work. This is not just a local organization. It's actually one of the biggest anti-human trafficking organizations in the world, and the headquarters is here in the Philippines. So initially, I started just to volunteer on a personal level, and then after a few years, they asked me to be part of the advisory board. At one time, when I was so busy with Aiden and all stuff, I was even the acting chair. So it's really very much involved.
Aiden is your son?
Yes, Aiden is my 8-year-old son. So we get intel. So we rescue. Usually the victims are from the far-flung provinces. Most of them are being sold, if not by their immediate family, by some of their relatives. They're being sold to foreigners. 99% of our cases, they end up in prostitution houses abroad. So we get intel, and then we coordinate with NBI, FBI sometimes. And then we rescue them. Once we rescue them, then we do the rehabilitation process. So they undergo a lot of trainings, workshops, healings, developments. Because when we get this, and usually the kids that we rescue, most of them are girls, young girls, like from age 1 to 15 years old. In my almost 20 years of being part of this foundation, we have never rescued anyone over the age of 15. So imagine, yeah. And I remember like 5 years ago, one of the most heartbreaking experiences I had was when we were able to rescue a 1-year-old baby.
Oh my
Imagine a 1-year-old baby. We got her from cyber sex house. I cannot mention here because I don't know, it's this is PG, but really the things they make these kids do, I don't understand how some parents can actually have the heart to sell their kids knowing that they're gonna end up in that situation. So there. But okay, my involvement really is more on the rehabilitation part. I don't have the police security expertise, so we leave that to the experts. We have the rescue operations teams are the one coordinating with NBI, FBI, all the police and everything. But what I do mostly for the organization is to help this rescued survivors, we call them survivors already, to be socially reintegrated.
Mhm.
And then, so we give them not just, we don't do not just mental, emotional rehabilitation, but we send them back to school. We make
Okay.
sure that, yeah, we give them not just education, but also like, yeah, we do a lot of skills development programs to them. And usually it takes at least 2 years for them to be okay already, for them to be uh,
Or maybe
qualified
more.
already for social.
But at least they can
Oh yes,
be
many
integrated into
like
the society.
we have survivors who've been with us in our safe house for more than 6 years already.
I see. Oh, well, we might have some good Samaritans watching now, might be interested to be a part of your advocacy. How can they help?
Okay, so we have so many for those who would want to be a benefactor. We have so many people helping us, not just here. In fact, 50% of the help actually is coming from abroad. And I'm so thankful. Not just foreigners, but Filipinos, some OFWs are sending support. So if you want to be a part of this very, very worthy cause, you can send me an email, shelly@shellylazaro.com. I will link you up with the people from the foundation. I cannot divulge because we're dealing with very sensitive cases.
I understand.
Some of because when we rescue these kids, of course, our goal really, it's not band-aid. We really want to put an end to human trafficking, and it's so hard because it's become a billion-dollar businesses. You would be surprised, Alma, that some syndicates behind this are actually very known business people, very known business establishments. So because they're earning so much from this, so it's really hard to stop. But we're very lucky that now we're getting
With the heart of it.
different sectors to coordinate with us. You know, we need the help of the media as well. So what we do, so these kids, that's why we really protect. We cannot tell where our safe
Mhm.
houses are because we file charges. So once we have their case, we have international lawyers who actually would make sure that these people would go to jail. So yeah, so
They should.
sensitive information that we cannot share. But yeah, so send me an email and I'll link you to the right department of this foundation. So you can help us. Together we can do this. I believe that we can put an end to human trafficking and modern day slavery.
I really hope so. Now, you are also the founding chair and CEO of Cytherea Global Group of companies. How many companies
Yes.
do you run, Shelly?
Okay. Global group of companies, I have about 8 companies under it. So I started my business actually with just Cytherea Global
You're a very
Cosmetics.
busy
So
woman. Uh-huh.
yeah, so in 2004, I started bringing in different brands of beauty products. So I get the franchise for Philippines and some Southeast Asian countries for this international brands of beauty products. I bring them here. So I do retail. I have counters in restaurants and in other specialty boutiques.
Mhm.
And 10 years ago, I started focusing on just healthy products, on sustainable lifestyle. So I would only bring in brands when they're vegan, organic, and support my wellness advocacies as well. So that's one. And then because of this, I started supplying the hotels here. I supply the exclusive spas here, and because of that, I thought of coming up with another company. So that is spa franchise and operation. So I now operate most of the spas in the different country clubs here, like Valley Verde Country Club, Manila Polo Club. So there,
you have your own spa as well?
Yes, yes.
You do.
Yes.
And we heard about your advocacy to uplift the spa and the wellness sector in the country as well. Tell us more about this.
Okay, so when I decided to venture into spa operations, that's when I discovered a lot of problems in the industry, primarily when it comes to how the massage therapists are being treated. It's so sad because here there's a stigma. You know, there's this negative connotation, like the spa industry doesn't really have good reputations because there are some hole in the wall spas offering what they called happy ending or whatever. And that's okay. So my advocacy towards wellness and in elevating the status of the industry is to actually eradicate that. And I would start with the spa franchises that I have. So I discovered that one of the reasons why some spas or some massage therapists are offering these kinds of services because they are not compensated well. Would you believe that most of the spas here, they only give the therapist allowance for food, or some they give them housing, but they don't give them salary, so they rely solely on commission. So in my wellness advocacy, what I really want is for these massage employees, this is spa employees, to be treated as actually office employees. They should be given at least minimum wage, so they will not be relying on commissions. They should be trained well, you know, send them to legit wellness schools, because abroad, Alma, they take spa wellness seriously. In fact, when you go abroad, that's why they charge really high. The spa therapists there, even the manicurists, are treated like doctors. I mean, they're touching your body, you know, it has effect. Like when you massage a person, and you wrong point whatever massage, and then that person can actually have disability or something. So what I'm saying is they play a very important role. So you might as well treat them also as regular employees. So that's what I'm trying to do with my wellness advocacies. And so I only partner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure with all your businesses, they were affected by the pandemic. How were they?
Yes, because one of the first, the spa business, one of the first industries that actually the government closed during the start of the pandemic are spas, beauty salons, those with human contract, right? So all my spas have been closed since March 2020, and my importation and distribution business is also affected because since spas are closed and I'm supplying mostly to them, I am left with hundreds of millions product in my warehouse, because right before the pandemic, like in February, I have fresh shipment. And then March, the pandemic hit. So I have no spas anymore to supply these products to. But at least now IATF already gave us a go signal to reopen. So hopefully, slowly, we'll get back to normal. So.
That's right. Hopefully, slowly, hopefully sooner. But what advice can you give our young viewers right now who dream of being like you, a successful entrepreneur, social civic leader?
Oh, wow. Do we have time? Sorry. Okay.
In a nutshell.
Okay. So they have to remember that challenges are part of the process. Okay, so success has no shortcut, and considering all the challenges, you have to consider all the challenges as a stepping stone instead of obstacle for you to achieve victory and success. I think the solutions will automatically start flowing in when you start taking your problems as a challenge. And the beginning is always the hardest. So it's so hard to kickstart a business venture, but it is really exciting and challenging. It's actually, Alma, one of my favorites. It's really to when I do startups, it's one of my favorite thing to do. So I come across a lot of unexpected problems, but yeah, if you are passionate, that's my second advice. You really have to find your passion and pursue it. Diba Confucius said, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. So that's very true. That is the kind of passion that you need to build successful empires. And you have to, everything that you do must be driven by passion. So you have to stay focused and you have to really, really, really love what you do. And one of the things also that I learned the hard way, you have to learn to multitask. You must be prepared to wear different hats because as you start a business, you will have to perform multiple tasks from ground level to the top level management. You cannot always depend on anyone, especially on very important decision making. If your employees are not available, you must know how to do it yourself. It is important that you are in touch with the groundwork because some business people, they feel they don't want to do the all these dirty tasks. They leave it up to the employees, but you have to learn everything. And of course it's very important. Yes, and it's not gonna you cannot be maarte. If you're in the laundry business, you have to learn how to do the laundry yourself. Okay, so you have to build, of course, a team is very important. You have to be able to build a team, and I think it all starts by hiring the right team and training them. It's always the starting point because a team will be the backbone of every company. Okay, but again, you must remember that building and nurturing your team will require a lot of your time and attention. So you must be really, really committed. Make sure you get like-minded people who will share your morals and values because Alma, it's going to be so much easier to work together and achieve the goals that you have for your company if you share the same ideals, right? And you have to be firm with your decisions because you will be involved in a lot of decision making, as I mentioned earlier, and not all decisions would be easy to make. You have to make few harsh and tough decisions also, but please don't shy away with this but of course, before making any decision, it's very important to gather all relevant information to support that decision. And lastly, you must strategize and execute because no work can be done without taking action. Coming up with a business doesn't start from you having an idea. You have to take actions. And these actions are sometimes risky, but not for me personally. I must say that not taking risks is a bigger failure for an entrepreneur than taking them and not succeeding. So there. But again, in the midst of this pandemic, I think in a nutshell, what I want to say is for everyone, for those who are aspiring to be in business, please don't lose hope. Things are getting better now. And no matter how difficult it becomes one day, you should never give up. So if you really, really want to succeed, don't give up. You have to remain motivated and dedicated. That is the key to everything. Just believe in yourself. And if you have a goal in mind, then don't stop working until you reach that. So there. Sorry, it was slow.
Finally, you are also a mom aside from being a businesswoman.
Okay.
Leader. You're also a hands-on mom to a little baseball champ, Aiden. You mentioned him earlier. Aside from managing the Philippine team of Baseball Pony League, you also glory back to the baseball game, Philippine baseball to our young athletes. Can you tell us more about this?
Okay, this is so funny because prior to this, I had zero background on any sports. I'm really not a sports person, but the head of the Pony League, not here, but International Pony League, asked me to be the general manager of Philippine Bazookas. Philippine Bazookas is it's the official Philippine team to the Pony League. So it's a team composed of young kids, 6 to 10-year-old. So they compete in a lot of international tournaments, and of course in everything that I do, I always inject advocacies. So I told them, okay, I'm gonna accept the position only if you will commit that we can actually help other people by doing this. Of course, the members of the Philippine team are mostly from private schools. Like Aiden is one of the captains of that team. So we have players from Ateneo, from different schools, good schools.
How old is Aiden?
Aiden is 8 now. He started playing baseball when he was 6. So he's part of the school varsity, and now he's part of the Philippine team. Sayang nga, because of they're supposed, right before the pandemic, they've been training for 2 years. They're gonna be competing in the World Series in Illinois. So because of the pandemic, it's been, I don't know if it's still there, but we'll see. So but anyway, so I told the Pony League
that the US is open
organizers that we have to be able to help. So what we do now is we get baseball scholars. So these are, some of them are out of school, most of them are from public schools. They cannot afford the sport because it can be really expensive, not just the materials or equipment being used, but also going to trainings. It's very expensive. You need to have good coaches as well. So that's what we do. So we actually adopt, like, for you to be part of a team, you have to be ready to adopt at least one child that you adopt it. So you sponsor everything. So they play with their kids. So this public school kids are able to play with the privileged kids. And I think I can see a lot of potential there because it actually builds their confidence. And it starts there. It actually, I heard from some teachers that it actually helps improve their performance in school as well. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Shelley, for your time. We must talk again. I wish we had more time to talk about a lot of stuff because I know
Thank you for having me. Sorry if I have so many things in mind, so I don't know. Maybe next time I need to gather my thoughts. But I've been wanting to share so many things with you, and we have little time.
Thank you so much, Miss Shelley. We hope to have you again on the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Lazaro, the mentor and leader in the ASEAN Youth Organization. Thank you so much, Michelle, and ASEAN in Focus. We'll be right back.
Makabuluhang talakayan.
Sapat na po ba yun? Papasok yung 30% sa indoor at 50% sa outdoor para to even break even? Ilan pong mga negosyo ang nagsara po dahil dito po sa pandemya?
Malalim na komentaryo.
Ngayon, sinasabi yung essential goods and services. Pero nakita naman po natin sa Dolomite Beach. At may time clock yung mga bata doon.
Umaapaw sa impormasyon.
Ano ba ngayon ang allotted budget per voter? Yung hindi daw bakunado po ng mga empleyado, hindi sila pinapasweldo. Oras!
Pero hindi rin nagpapahuli sa kakulitan.
Merong nag-file for the presidency, hinimok daw siya ng mga alien at ang kanyang plataforma po ay palakasin ang Wi-Fi. At ito si Ali, magde-demonstrate paano mag-swimming na may face mask.
Kaya, nood na kina Ali Soto at Pati Daza sa ASPN. Ano sa palagay nyo?
Kung kayo po ay may pinagdadaanan, daanan nyo lang. Huwag niyong tambayan.
Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga.
Oras, alas 9:26 na po ng umaga at nagbabalik po ang ASPN.
Mapapanood sa Net25 at mapapakinggan sa DZEC, Radyo Aguila at Eagle FM 95.5.
Welcome back to the program. Now let's go over to Thailand, where the Prime Minister said that the country will let vaccinated visitors from 46 countries forgo COVID quarantine from next month up from 10 previously announced. We have this update from Jomrel Baldo. Hello, Jomrel.
Yes, hello, Esther. The Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha announced Thursday that vaccinated travelers from more than 40 countries will be allowed to enter the kingdom without undergoing quarantine come the November 1st, as the country readies for a much-anticipated reopening. The 46 countries and territories is a significant jump from 10 initially mentioned last week. Then Prayut Chan-o-cha unveiled the plans to reopen the country next month. The ballooning of list is due to Thailand's urgent need to stimulate the tourism and other related business sectors, said the Prime Minister. Besides the United States, Britain, and China, vaccinated tourists from a few of European countries, including France and Germany, will be allowed in if they are able to provide a negative COVID RT-PCR test results. Neighboring countries, Cambodia and Malaysia, also use the low-risk list, as well as Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and Hong Kong for their reopening strategies. Upon landing in Thailand, travelers will have to take another PCR test and book a single night in a government-approved hotel while awaiting for the test results. Then they will be allowed to travel freely upon the presentation of the negative results. Before the pandemic, Thailand attracted nearly 40 million visitors, with tourism making up almost 20% of its national income. Last year, the country lost about $50 billion in tourism revenues, as foreign arrivals plunked 83% or 6.7 million. Early this year, Prayut had initially declared that 70% of all Thailand citizens must be vaccinated before the kingdom fully reopened its border. To date, nearly 40% have received 2 vaccine doses. Thailand is also registering about 10,000 cases per day, largely fueled by the highly contagious Delta virus. The updated COVID statistics for the country is that the country lags more than 1.8 million total cases, and it has recorded more than 18,000 deaths. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you, Jomrel, for your time. You stay safe and healthy.
Please stay safe too. Reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand, I am Jomrel Bondedbaldo, and we live in interesting times.
Meanwhile, the passengers on the first flight to arrive under Singapore's expanded no quarantine travel scheme landed at Changi Airport on Wednesday. The travelers from Amsterdam were required to be fully vaccinated and take PCR tests before departure and upon arrival in Singapore. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's perfect, is it? Yeah, it's really convenient. She can go to school right away after we have the results, of course. Yeah, it's very nice.
They were originally planned to come back yesterday on the KLM flight. But in between, when they were there, the Singaporean government announced that you could also travel back on a VTL. And that's when we managed to switch everything. So we booked a new ticket on SQ, and then they flew back. Yeah. Now is that I think the Singaporean government is taking all precaution. I think that's great. But I also appreciate the fact that we can travel back home to see the family, and I do hope that it continues. That I don't think it's good to sit with the infant in a hotel room for 14 days or. So then, reasonably, when they said 6 days home quarantine, that's feasible. Also in terms of schooling. So then that's when we decided to switch. Yeah. And then luckily it was VTL. It became a VTL flight. So yeah.
The latest easing expanded a program that began with vaccinated air travel lanes with Germany and Brunei last month and is now open to passengers from the United States, Canada, Britain, Denmark, France, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. Singapore Airlines said flights under the scheme were scheduled to depart from Amsterdam, London, Los Angeles, and New York on Tuesday. Passengers arriving as part of this scheme, which will include South Korea from November 15, will not have to quarantine if they have fully vaccinated and test negative for the virus before they depart and when they arrive. To enable families to travel, Singapore has allowed entry to unvaccinated children aged 12 years and under if they are accompanied by someone flying under the scheme. In other news, a health official on Monday reminded of the need to proactively promote minimum public health standards despite the lowering of the alert level status in the National Capital Region or NCR and community quarantine classifications in other areas. Dr. Edsel Silvana, a member of the Department of Health or DOH Technical Advisory Group, warned about complacency to prevent potential super spreader events. Take a look.
Important talaga that we stick to our health protocols. Ang understanding naman natin dito is magbababa tayo ng alert level dahil medyo nakakahinga na ng konti. Ngunit madaling bumalik yan kung hindi po tayo mag-iingat. Yung pinakamalaking insurance talaga natin dito is yung mataas na rate ng pagbabakuna dito sa NCR. Ngunit alam naman natin ang nag-circulate na strain talaga dito sa ating bansa ay Delta na. So, kailangan po talaga i-balanse natin habang nagbubukas tayo, kinakailangan tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ating minimum public health standards at kung hindi pa po kayo nababakunahan, magpabakuna na po kayo. Kung maiiwasan natin yung mga potential super spreader events, lalo na kung maramihan talaga yung mga tao, iwasan muna natin. Kasi bagamat binaba natin from alert level 4, nasa alert level 3 pa rin tayo. Ibig sabihin, wala pa tayo doon sa level na pwede po talaga nating sabihin na hindi natataas yan or hindi pa madaling biglang umakyat yan dahil na magkaroon po tayo ng super spreader events. Hindi pa po dapat masyado tayong relax at this time and iwasan po natin yung mga activities that can potentially into super spreader events.
Okay.
We require na lahat ng manunood ng sine ay dapat bakunado po talaga. Hindi po pwedeng manood ng sine ang taong hindi pa nabakunahan. Pangalawa, kailangan minimum public health standards at hindi pa po papayagan kumain ng popcorn or uminom ng mga soft drinks sa ating theaters po. So, we're trying to balance po itong ating mga activities while seeing if it remains safe. Pero ang pinaka-importante po talaga dapat bakunado lahat ng nasa tinatawag na 3Cs na indoor activities kasama dyan yung restaurants. Ito na nga, yung ating theaters, kinakailangan po talaga we have to stick to the minimum public health standards. Every time naman natin ini-ease itong ating mga restrictions, tumataas po ang mobility and there really is a higher chance for the virus na makapag-spread. Pero pwede po natin itong mapigilan sa pamamagitan ng adhering to our minimum public health standards at dahil mataas na rin yung antas ng pagbabakuna, mas mababa ang tsansa na magkaroon ng severe disease kung mahawa man ng isang tao at kinakailangan po talaga nating dahan-dahan. We have to live with this virus. Hindi na lang po talaga pwedeng lockdown tayo ng lockdown dahil magugutom po yung ating mga kababayan.
Silvana said people should learn how to live with the virus. Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA reiterated on Thursday that individuals below 18 years old are allowed outdoors, but only for individual exercise and essential purposes. MMDA Chairperson Benhur Avalos said this in Thursday in the palace briefing amid National Capital Region's de-escalation to alert level 3, which eases restrictions to allow more economic activities. Take a look.
Menor de edad, bawal pa rin po ang gala ng mga kabataan except po for outdoor exercises.
Well, ganito po yan, no? Kaya may mga alert levels po tayo ay para lang makalibrate natin unti-unti. Kamukha sa malls, pupunta sa malls. Well, generally, bawal po iyan. Except kung, let's say, ando yung dentista andun yung clinic, hindi ba? Because these are essential or basic.
Abalos said intrazonal and interzonal travel is also allowed, but is subject to age and comorbidities-based restrictions determined by local government units. Meanwhile, Malacanang said local government units outside Metro Manila under the expanded alert level system implementation were consulted amid appeals to defer its implementation in provinces. The government has yet to issue a conclusion on the initial pilot test, but presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said it should have not been expanded if there were no improvements in COVID-19 cases and hospital utilization. The Octa Research Group said Thursday the number of COVID cases in the country is expected to drop to the level before the recent surge in infections driven by the Delta variant by the end of October. Octa fellow Professor Guido David said the 7-day average of the cases in the country decreased to 6,416 cases, while the nationwide reproduction number stood at 0.55. The lowest 7-day average since late July, according to David. The Philippines remains under moderate risk cases classification for COVID-19, according to the Department of Health or DOH. Take a look.
We hope that this will continue and a downward trend becomes more definitive so that we'll be able to de-escalate from our current alert level 3 down to alert level 2 and hopefully alert level 1 by end to about first week of December.
Meanwhile, the Israeli government is looking forward to hosting a group of Filipino experts to share firsthand its strategies and technologies in effectively dealing with the spread of the coronavirus. Now, the planned visit was revealed by Israeli ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Ilan Flas, on Thursday.